So brilliant products. What they are, there's 3 configurations that you'll may be familiar with. There's the concertina there you see on the left, which is the circular one, which is essentially a say freestanding, but it's invisible in the ceiling. It doesn't have any guide supports. It can be completely invisible when it's at a site. It can be in the middle of an area like you see there on a staircase. We've got some going in at Liverpool Football Club on a couple of concessionary areas where they need to have, essentially they've got a fire risk in the concessionary area and they want to be able to close that off in the event of a fire, but they don't want guide rails because of the footfall on match days. Then you've got horizontal, the picture in the middle. If you want to have open atria, and the fire engineer says we need to compartment between floors in the event of a fire, then you can achieve both of those aspects with a horizontal fire curtain. When it's in its fully closed retracted position, it's out of sight. And then vertical, which you'll be more familiar with potentially, that is the vast majority of the market is vertical fire curtains, and they're available in a number of classifications. I always like to describe fire curtains to somebody completely new to them as a modern form of a roller shutter. So essentially a goal post, the vertical, the most common application is. There's a barrel in the head box which houses the motor, and the fabric, a fire resistant fabric, wraps around that barrel. That's all contained in the housing, and that would normally be built into the ceiling. And then there's a couple of guides down each side which retains the fabric. These are very important, and they ensure that the fabric actually stays in place during a fire. So we'll just move on to some of the benefits of them. They're easy to fit and less destructive if they activate. That is partly in comparison with a sprinkler system. Not saying that they're alternative products, they can be used in conjunction, but they're just a consideration. There's some really high performances available with fire curtains. We've got up to 2 hours integrity, 2 hours integrity and radiation, which is the 120 EW, if you're familiar with the European classifications. And we can also achieve a 3-hour EI. That is in conjunction with a sprinkler. So just back to that comment where they can be used together. And the applications are really, the limit is our imaginations. You know, with the 3 different configurations that we have available, and we as a company have the widest range of third-party certified and legally compliant fire curtains in the UK. Back to our charter, we really do believe it is important, and we've invested in that. Enable open plan flexible designs. They provide that fire compartmentation that you need if it's been stipulated in the fire strategy. So you can remove walls, and they're very compact and lightweight. So I mentioned them as a comparison with a roller shutter. One of the benefits is they're a lot more compact, much more smaller head boxes, so you don't need as much space in the ceiling voids, and they're lighter, so you don't need as much structural support steelwork.